Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Zero Excuses podcast. My name is Kenyon. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Wheelbook Wednesday edition of the show. This is a short show where I pull out my wheelbook, my notebook, and share with you some of my thoughts that I've had over the past week and break them down into some actionable, practical strategies that you can implement right away. And I wanted to wrap up this month's topic of planning by talking to you guys about some of the ways that I make sure that I always execute my plan, because I think it's very important that we, not only spend the time to plan, but make sure that we haven't wasted that time and that we make sure that we're engineering our environment so we root out anything that comes between us and executing our plans. But before we get into the meat of today's discussion, just wanted to remind you guys of a couple of things we have going on right now. As always, I encourage you to join our closed Facebook group over at facebook.com/groups/zeroexcuses. Second of all, if you guys really want to take this to the next level and really need that accountability and the structure and the discipline to implement everything that we've talked about to this point on the show, I encourage you to check out our Infinite Results Mastermind group over at kenyonziska.com/results, or you can also check out my exclusive one-on-one discipline coaching program over at kenyonziska.com/discipline. And if you just simply want to support the show, there's a couple ways you can do that. First, you can share this on iTunes or wherever you choose to listen to podcasts at, or you can also leave us a rating and review. And we also have some great affiliates that have come on board the show that have some exclusive offers for the Zero Excuses audience, and I have those in one spot over at kenyonziska.com/support. All right, enough of that. Let's get into today's topic of always executing our plans. So my first tip for you guys is to always tie your activities with your ultimate vision that you've laid out. We talked about it at the beginning of the month and the beginning of the year here. You always need to have an idea of where you're going so that you can tie the activities that you partake in on a day-to-day basis with moving you towards fulfilling that vision. So it's important that you, whenever you're planning out your days, your weeks, your months, however you choose to plan out your activities, that you always tie it to your vision. My second tip is to never go at it alone. You always need to have either an accountability partner or a group of people who are trying to get to the same or similar places that you are trying to go. So it's important that you find people who are highly motivated, highly driven, and who aren't going to put up with the bullshit excuses that we often make up in our minds. So you can find that. I mentioned at the beginning of the show our Mastermind group, and there's tons of other great ones out there. I don't want to pretend like the Infinite Results Mastermind group is the only one out there and the only one that you need. But bottom line here is just find that group of people or that person that is going to hold your feet to the fire. And my third and last piece of advice is to always establish and maintain your boundaries and the margin that you need in your life to execute your plan. And I'll explain what I mean through a quick example here. So most days, my day typically wraps up right around 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and then I head straight home. Sometimes I'll run an errand or two. But the time between when I arrive home and when my daughter goes to bed, I do not schedule anything other than strictly family time. And there are some very, very rare exceptions that I will make to that family time. But if I don't set boundaries and maintain boundaries and let people encroach on that time, that's going to erode some of the actions that I need to take to reach my relationship goals with my family. So what I would encourage you guys to do is, when you carve out time for a specific activity, make sure that you communicate those intentions to all those who may try to encroach upon that time. And it's simply going to make life a lot easier in the long term. It might cause a little bit of short-term frustration, but once you get this established with the people who you interact with most often, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. So that's all I have for you guys today, and put a wraps on this month's topic of planning. Next month in February, we're going to be getting brilliant on the basics, and it's another term that I'm borrowing from my Navy career. But I really think that it's important that people focus on the basic activities that are going to get them the most results. And I think a lot of people, most people actually, I think, gloss over these activities, and they want that complicated, that sexy, that elegant solution, and they simply skip over these basic essential tasks that we need to focus on so that we can build that foundation of discipline, build that foundation of health, etc. So that's what we'll be getting into here in February, and I'm really excited for that topic. Thanks again for tuning in, everyone. We'll wrap it up there, and I'll talk with you again soon.